Yo, peace everybody. What's good? What's good? It's your man Soular yet again. We out here having a very beautiful day. You know, I'm getting ready to go do some schoolwork and go lock in on the computer for a little bit. You know, after I do a couple of calls. Beautiful day. I hope your day's going great. I hope you've done some breath work. I hope you've done some yoga. You know, if not, I hope you've got outside, touched some nature, done something healthy for yourself. Today we're going to be talking about work, and this is relatable to a lot of other things. A lot of people wanting to know about work, divine purpose, spirituality, what's right, what's wrong, the matrix, is it enslavement, is it not enslavement? Well, we're going to be breaking that down real quick, just by getting to the root of things. You see, we can go and look at any tree, right? We can look at any tree. This is the closest tree, and it's funny because it says 444 right here. Which is funny. Oh, and it was 111. We're at minute 111. No, that's interesting. So anyway, we have this tree right here. We can try to get to know this tree through each individual leaf and branch, and we can try to break down the topic by going from leaf to leaf. But the thing about this tree is that I'll put this down. One of these leaves can't necessarily have the same experience as this leaf at the same time. Okay, it's experiencing the sunlight and the spider, and this is experiencing the shade and the shadows. Now, by being the same one being, yes, they are experiencing the same thing, but as individual leaves, they're not. They're experiencing two different things. Like, we could be two individual parts of the same one being, made of the same energy, same everything, connected to the same source, but we're having completely different experiences from each other. So this is a very complex thing to talk about a person, to talk about a person's life. To share your experience is different, because now you're letting people know what it's like where you're at. Hey, it's dark over here. Hey, it's bright over here. Well, what's it like being dark? Well, what's it like being bright? And we're able to have those experiences without needing to choose to share them. They're already shared by existing in itself. And so that's a beautiful thing. So what we can do is we can break these topics down. We're going to talk about work and career life and spirituality, like I said. But if you look at this tree, you'll see it's very complex. If we want to talk about it, we can make it simple. From talking about each leaf or each cell or each whatever to talking about maybe each branch. And maybe if we separate it from each branch, we can break it down from each branch down to maybe just the trunk. And if we go from the trunk, we know that we're connected to the roots. We can get to the source of everything, and we can figure out what's going on with this plant in every way. We don't need to talk about the complexity of each individual leaf. We can go look at things like the roots, like the trunk, like the base, like the core pieces of it. And that'll tell you everything. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the core principle of how things work, and that's going to go ahead and let us know about the leaves. That's going to go ahead and let us know, because each of those leaves, right, on that little plant, each of those leaves on the trees, on any plant, even though they may be in different locations, the version of them that is experiencing it all is the source of them all. You understand? So where you are one is at your source. So you thinking you're separate from somebody else is like one leaf thinking it's separate from another, even though they die at different times and live in different experiences. They came from the same place. Life. It's right in front of all of us. So, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, when we come to talk about work, we want to talk about making money. Making money is one of the major points of why we talk about work. Why do we want to make money? To take care of our kids, to take care of ourselves, to upgrade our lifestyles, to upgrade our houses, to upgrade our relationships situation or whatever it may be. Pursue your dreams, to activate certain parts of yourself, and you want the money to do that. And so you want to make sure that you have the right job. Now we know that the right job is a job that is aligned with not only who you are, but pays well. Something that makes sense, something that's stable. We want this stability. We want money. But what people don't understand is that when you're talking about purpose, you're not talking about the matrix. When you're talking about purpose, you're talking about something that was before the matrix. When you're talking about purpose, you're talking about something that exists beyond space and time. You're talking about money. You're talking about a finite situation. You're talking about a specific form of energy at any given time. That's what that is. So you want to get money. So you want to go to work. But you're doing something that you don't love to do. Why do something that you don't love to do to make the money? Well, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to transition to this. I'm trying to switch to that. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. You can't be on the fence and say what side you're really on. You can't be in between. Oh, am I poor or am I broke? You can't be in between. Am I purpose driven or am I money driven? Now, the thing about being purpose driven is that this is a thriving frequency. See, being purpose driven, there's the moon and the sun at the same time. So the thing about being purpose driven is that is a abundance mindset. Being purpose driven is thriving, okay? Whereas to work, to survive, and do something you don't love to do and expend your energy, your time, your sacred, vital force in survival, doing something you don't love to do because it's a social norm in a society that's sick. It's a social norm. Something just flew on my neck. I wonder what that was. Anyway, we get the job. We work and do what we don't want to do. Get the money, get the house. Then we pay the rent. And we get the gas for the car, pay the insurance for the car. We pay the electric, the water. We pay for food. We pay for, this is just monthly bills. We pay for phone. We pay for internet. This is all within a month. Now, by the time all these things are paid for, you have just enough money for maybe one, maybe half an expense. Or maybe if you collateral a couple paychecks, you can have one or two expenses. Maybe. And it makes no sense to do that because if you're broke, you should be investing. But then you have no life. Not only are you doing something you hate for pennies to survive, to continue doing something that you hate, to sustain yourself, to get your gas to go back to work, to go to sleep, to eat, so be ready, you're nourished, and up on time, ready to go for that same service that you don't like to do, for money, to survive. And the survival looks like what? The survival looks like slavery. Because you're just sustaining yourself to repeat a system. You're just sustaining yourself to be a bot. And what makes you a bot is that you're allowing yourself to be and do something that you're not for the sake of survivability. Whereas the reality of it is you no longer have to survive. Those are maybe genes and genetics that you can let go of. Those are probably traumas that need to be healed and shadow work that needs to be had. And that's okay. I'm doing it. I've done it, and I'm doing it because I'm human, just like you. I wonder what that is that keeps flying around. I'm kind of nervous about it, so I don't know what it is. I keep touching it, but it gets away. Please be a butterfly or something cool. Anyway, So yeah. Whereas your purpose, it doesn't require any money. Your purpose is a gift that you have to give, that if you perform this act, it is a gift in itself, you know, and this is something you can do to provide value. Whereas surviving is about consuming, thriving is about creating. And this is a big difference between a thriver and a survivor. Thriving creates, surviving consumes. And there are two focuses. So you focus on consumption. How do you know? Psychologically. Well, do you do more than you observe and watch and consume and partake? Do you create anything? Do you create at all? It's one way for you to gauge that and look at that. Some questions to ask yourself. But working is not working when it's just purpose. Purpose supersedes working. You see, purpose can get you a house without paying any money. Purpose can get you a car or get you a yacht without you ever spending a dime. Purpose can get you in positions to be in front of millions of people, to share a gift. Money doesn't do that. Survival doesn't do that. The job doesn't do that. Purpose does that. And purpose protects you through it. Because if it's truly aligned for you, if it's truly who you are, then you will be protected through it. If it's not something for who you truly are, if it's not something that's truly aligned with you, you will feel the pain and suffering of it, and you will know something needs to change, and you will be thinking about that thing that you know you'd rather be doing and should be doing. We're all going to be out of here one day. Worst thing you can do is not try. Worst thing you could do is not grow. Worst thing you could do is not take the risk to develop. Because one thing that's guaranteed to us all is that none of us are making it out of here. So you might as well do your best. You might as well give it your best shot. Every day, every moment. You never know when it can be your last. It's really like that. Any age. For anyone around you too. Cherish and love those around you today, now. Do the work now. Heal and grow now. Share, express, love now. Create now. If you are consuming, just make sure that it's conscious. Make sure you're constantly consuming something that also feeds your purpose. What you consume should feed your purpose. Through your purpose, you also create. So if you're consuming, it should be turned and alchemized into creation. And that's what purpose does. A job doesn't do that. A job takes your time, gives you money, slaves you to do it again, and gets you stuck on the loop in a hamster wheel to where you're saying, well, just this much, just got to do that, just got to do this, just got to do that. And it never ends. Because the only thing that you can do, and I'm talking from experience, is you take the risk, you leave the job, you make the most of what you have, you put your faith in God, and you do your best. And you walk in truth, and you live in truth, and you love yourself, and you do righteous everywhere you are and everywhere you go, and you will always be taken care of. People don't understand how I do it. People don't understand what it is that I even do. But I'm going on. I'm going to continue to mind I'm going to keep my personal business to myself to a degree. Just know I know what I'm talking about. And just know that I'm very proud of myself and the relationship that I've built with the divine. And your relationship with the divine is not going to look like mine. Mine's going to show up through my gifts. Yours are going to look like yours, so it'll shift. That's just how it is. Okay? It's waiting for you. So when you're ready to step into that version of yourself, when you're ready to upgrade from looking for a job or trying to work or trying to survive or focusing on bills or focusing on just barely making it or making excuses for staying where you are, when you're done doing that, what you're going to do is you're going to upgrade from working and getting jobs and surviving to choosing to want to thrive and starting to seek purpose outside the job. And then you're going to have to switch jobs. You're going to have to switch relationships. You're going to have to switch friend groups. You're going to have to switch what you wear. You're going to have to switch your routine. You're going to have to switch who you are. when you choose to thrive. Because everything that you were clinging on to survive were the very things that were keeping you down. And the very mentality that you had that brought them to you in the first place. So as you elevate in mentality, if somebody's meant to be there with you in this life, they will get there with you, I promise you. But you got to do it for yourself. It'll be amazing to see somebody that you wish would have made it with you doing the work for themselves too. Then it'll feel right. You don't want to do the work for people. You can't do the work for people. You need to get to where you need to go, though. You need to do what you need to do, frequency-wise. I'm not talking about a horizontal travel. I'm not talking about where you are, where you need to go here on the earth plane. I'm talking about where you need to go vertically, in frequency, in consciousness, in awareness, in alignment. Okay? High frequency is balance. It's complete alignment with the highs and the lows. It's when the highs and the lows vibrate so fast, it looks like a single line. That's what it looks like to walk in truth. Be in one with all things. Live in oneness. And it's never truly oneness. It's constantly phasing because it's a constant decision and a constant choice. That's the trick to being righteous, is that it's a constant decision to be righteous. That's the thing, is that the fall off is always there. 99% of everything around you when you're righteous is the fall off. Only 1% of what is available for you to do and choose from is the righteous. And as you grow and as you learn and as you do better, you can put more focus on certain things, take less focus, take some focus off of certain things, put more focus on the other things, and start to learn yourself. As you learn what's true, what's most important. Learning how to balance your extremities. Okay, the best work and the best growth that you can do is learning and mastering yourself.